Ja Morant, Ja Morant, Ja Morant. Ja Morant, Ja Morant, Ja Morant. My dear brother, the money that you are scheduled to make through the NBA, you need it for your family future, and we need it for the black power structure. You cannot afford to act like an ignorant fool when you have that type of money that you can make at your age. Please grow up. Please get some maturity. And to Ja Morant's dad, Daddy Ja, you got to get on your son, King. Daddy Ja, you got to get on your son, King. If he got to move in with you because he's too immature to be on his own, make a move in with you. If he got to move in with mom, I don't know if you and mom together, make a move in with mom. But if Ja Morant is going to keep on exercising the discretion of a 13-year-old, if Ja Morant is going to keep on exercising the discretion of a 13-year-old, put his ass back in the house and treat him like a child if he wants to act like a child.
Welcome to my channel. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family. So Dr. Umar Johnson, like I shown you guys in the video, spoke out on Instagram Live about Ja Morant and the recent incident that he's been involved in, pulling out that gun on Instagram Live for the second time. Now the thing about Dr. Umar Johnson, although he made some good valid points, he basically blamed Ja Morant's dad and puts all the blame on his parenting skills. As we know, Ja Morant's dad can be seen on the sidelines at the games. This is him with Usher. This is him with Steph Curry's dad. And he's been known for acting like the big homie instead of a parental figure that Ja Morant needs. He got into it with Shannon Sharpe, and you can see him chilling on the sidelines and basically looking like he's trying to be in the spotlight, trying to be cool, trying to be down, and trying to live through his son. We don't typically see other players' parents act like this. Now, don't get me wrong. For starters, Ja Morant is a dummy. He is an example of fumbling the bag and not valuing what you have. The backlash is so bad that Nike pulled his shoes from the app that were set to be released, and they're basically delaying the release. No word if Nike has any intentions of dropping him, but the backlash that Ja is facing right now is actually worse than Kyrie. People kind of forgave him for the first incident. All he had to do was play ball, stay out of the negative spotlight, and we would move on. We've seen players do dumb stuff before, but their talent overshadowed it. And the fact that they were willing to learn from it and stayed out of trouble for the remainder of their careers, people forgave them, and they were able to rebuild their image and brand. Now, with what Dr. Umar Johnson is saying, I can understand if Ja Morant was some teenager or younger who made the same mistakes consistently. But at some point, a child has to grow up. Ja is 23 and he has a daughter himself. At what point do you learn to man up and grow up? We can't blame the dad for every stupid mistake that he makes. Plenty of parents teach their kids the right decisions to make and try their best to guide them in the right direction. But at a certain age, your kid becomes a certain age where they have a mind of their own. They know right from wrong, which you've taught them, but there's only so much a parent can do, especially somebody like Ja. How can you tell a grown man who's a multi-millionaire, surrounded by yes men, who's a breadwinner in the family, and everybody's eating off of him? How can you tell him what to do? It's not so easy. A lot of young adults in their teens and early 20s do not listen to their parents. Imagine a young adult who's a multi-millionaire with fame, power, and influence, and you try to tell him what to do. Clearly, Ja Morant is a knucklehead and a dummy for repeating the same mistake twice within a couple months, especially seeing how big of a backlash he had the first time. Clearly, he doesn't value his career, the money, the fame, the power, and being the face of not only the franchise, but the city of Memphis, and being one of the rising stars in the league. But at the same time, his dad was not in the car. He's the one who decided to pull out the gun. No one forced him, not even his friend who was there. At what point do we hold the person accountable for their actions and not their parents? If Ja was the average 23-year-old, would we still be blaming his parents, his dad, or him? This isn't a minor. This is a grown man who also has a child of his own. As a parent, you cannot be around your kids 24/7. That's why you do your best to try to teach them right from wrong. But they still have to be the one who makes the right decision at the end of the day. Especially somebody like Ja with so much to lose. God forbid that gun had harmed somebody. The judge at the court isn't going to hold his dad accountable. JA Morant is the one that's going to be held accountable. He's the one that's going to have to serve time, not his dad. So why are we trying to shift all the blame from Ja and put it all on his dad? His dad was not the one that forced him to pull out the gun. You could be the best dad in the world, and your kids still decide to be reckless and make the wrong decisions. This happens in everyday life. We see young kids who were not raised like that but decide to join gangs, get pregnant at a young age, drop out of high school, get arrested, and the list goes on. Young adults get in trouble with the law every day. They get sentenced to time in jail every day. Are we to blame their parents, or do we blame them and hold them accountable for their actions? There's only so much a parent can do. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. And with that being said, I am out.